Hey, I'm Ayuma Michelle, and welcome to part 2 of the Let's Stay Home with Ayuma campaign. This is a 6-week campaign that I am running in partnership with my brand LetS to ensure that all progressive women globally are empowered to thrive with purpose and to get out of this pandemic situation a better person with more intention and way better and with a better focus in life. So this is a clarity coaching campaign, and I hope that you enjoyed the first session. Last time we discussed a call to alignment, where I shared with you my story about an encounter that I had with the late CEO of Safaricom, Bob Collymore, and the question which he asked me, which is, what are you doing here? I hope that within the week you had the opportunity to daydream, to take a trip back into memory lane, to ask yourself these questions, to really introspect and ask yourself, why am I here? Because if you don't understand why you're here, it will be impossible to move forward with clarity and with purpose, because purpose is all about your why, right? And that's what I want to talk about today. Today we'll be covering how to find your purpose. How to find your purpose. So just comment below what you actually discovered about, from the question that you asked yourself, last time. Ask yourself, just comment below what exactly came up when you're asking the question, why am I here? What are some of the answers that came? Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. You're discovering, we are relearning why we are here. So don't think of it as a right or wrong answer. It is a space of reimagination. And with imagination, you need to really think about a moral imagination where you're like, wow, how can I serve, right? Just comment below. I'd love to read what you guys have been thinking about and what's been coming up. So, story time. Today the story I'll share with you is about a coconut tree. It's fascinating because, I don't know why, just this whole situation of staying indoors quite a long time, it's been making me really think about, being in the places that I really feel amazing and, just vacation and stuff. And I, for one, I just love being around the ocean or around water. I just love the beach. And when I was thinking about what would be the best way to actually, challenge you ladies to start thinking about purpose, I thought about the coconut tree. And there's something beautiful that I came to learn about the coconut tree. Do you know that the coconut by itself is a seed? It is actually a seed. It's one of the very rare seeds which are actually edible, because once you crack the nut, you can then eat the flesh inside, you can drink the water, you can use the husk for different things. Those of you who are into environmentalism, you know that the husk can be used for fuel. The coconut shells can even be used for art or can be used as utensils. There's so much that you can do with the coconut seed by itself. But at the end of the day, realize that the coconut is a seed. That this seed is literally living in duality. That it is both a seed and a coconut tree. A coconut tree exists within this seed. And if this seed is not planted into the ground, if it's not allowed to germinate, if it's not allowed to rot so that it lets go of the old parts and give room to the new parts, which is the tree growing and developing under the ground and breaks free through the ground and grows into these beautiful trees that we know for at the beach destinations that are often marketed. You know it's a beach destination when you see a coconut tree, right? And the nice blue waters, right? So within this seed, there is a coconut tree. And today, when I'm talking about nurturing your purpose and finding your purpose, the purpose is the tree within the coconut seed. So I'll be making lots of references to the coconut seed and the tree through this particular episode, because I think the most beautiful thing I've gotten to learn is that we have the answers all around us. You remember in the previous episode, I told you that the answers to your purpose, it already exists in your story, in your life story. And if you just look back and trace back where you've come from, and you look at your story, you will notice patterns. And these patterns are lessons, right? And I'm going to teach you how to do this so that you can actually get out of this better and having identified what your purpose is. and realize that it's not a one-day job thing. Your purpose it happens in phases. You will not figure it out all at once. But when you give in, when you follow your purpose, when you get a clue and you start pursuing it consistently and with time, that's when it will start to reveal to you what exactly it is. And the beautiful thing about life is that it does not overwhelm us with what it is all at once, but it gives us our purpose in phases so that it can allow you to build your capacity with time. So just think about the coconut tree and the coconut seed. And I desire for you to live out your full potential. I don't want you to live this life and to live to grow out of this pandemic season just as a seed. I want you to live this pandemic season as a seed planted in the ground because you realize that you have purpose within you. That you're not just a coconut seed. You are a tree that then can produce many more out of it. So just remember, we are not dealing with a job. We are not dealing with a career. We are dealing with your legacy. We are building your legacy, right? So the thing that I hope you guys like the coconut analogy. I found it to be really, really interesting and fun. And I just hope that it also speaks life to you, right? In fact, I think in some cultures, they know the coconut tree as a tree of life. You guys, if you know which culture that is from, please type it down. Please comment below. You just let me know. They know it as a tree of life because it represents so much and you can do so much with a coconut tree. Just imagine the number of things you can do out of a coconut tree. So they have mentioned the things you can do with a coconut seed, right? Which is eat the flesh, which the flesh you can use for many other things, from creating oil to all manner of things, right? You can also use the water. You can create coconut milk out of it. You can use the husks for let's say biofuel. You can also use the shells for art, for decorations, or even as actual utensils. But imagine the tree. The tree, not only is it an amazing exotic feature in many destinations all around the world, but also there's also the beauty that comes with the tree itself. You know, it's actually used for activities in some parts of the world where people actually climb coconut trees, right? And then also you can look at the leaves. But beyond that, the tree is a producer. The seed has potential. You have potential. But your purpose is the key to your production, to your creativity in this life. I'd like to remind you that inside each one of us is a purpose. When you were born, your purpose already existed. You don't need to work hard to really discover, to go buy it. Your purpose is not found out there. Your purpose is found within you. And if you do not take time to just sit down, go through an introspection journey, you will not truly find out what it is because it exists within you. And like I like to say to even my clients, the future exists within you. It does not exist somewhere in the abyss somewhere. The future exists within you. The future, you carry it with you every day. Because guess what? Whatever actions you take, whatever attitudes you take, it actually then shapes your future. It's already within you. Creation power is already within you, right? Potential already exists within you. But all that will mean nothing if you do not power it on. The last thing I want you guys to experience, you ladies to experience, is to live this life as a seed. I don't want you ladies to leave this situation and to live this life as a seed. You have the potential within you, but the whole point of living life is so that you exhaust whatever purpose exists within you. And guess what? No one can beat you at your own game. Your purpose is so unique. It's like your identity card on this earth. If you live out this earth without exhausting your purpose, then you've wasted your potential. I want you to think deeply. When you look over your life, what is the one consistent thing you're seeing as a ripple effect throughout your life? Ask yourself that question. What is the one thing you are consistently seeing as a pattern all around in your life, right? You will notice a pattern. That's the reason why I made the very first activity to be so simple, to challenge you to start daydreaming, to look back into your life, because your life story already has the answers, my dear. You will notice that there's one thing that's either consistently been a struggle for you. You can know your purpose by the consistent struggle you've had throughout your life, right? Or you will notice the one key interest, the one thing that you've constantly been very, very interested in or very passionate about. If you don't take time to sit down, and you don't need to figure it out now, schedule a time. It could even just be 1 hour, and right now we are working from home, we are at home. Take advantage of this time, because guess what? There are people who are using this time of either being under lockdown or being under curfew. They're using it to let go. I'm not saying don't rest, but there are people who are letting go, and they're using this situation as an excuse to not work on their purpose. There are people who are like, no, everyone is home, everyone is relaxing, no one can move, no one can do whatever. And guess what? People will be like, yeah, that's a very good reason. Yeah, I understand. But guess what? Your purpose is so urgent. And there are people right now who are deciding to let things go and to just let every day come as it comes. But there are people right now who I want you to be like, who are sitting down and they are thinking of living the rest of their best life after this. There are people who are rethinking their businesses. There are people who are rethinking their habits and creating new habits. There are people who are reading, they're investing in themselves. Remember the coconut seed? You are a seed. There are people who are cultivating, nurturing that seed even during this time. There are people who are not allowing this pandemic to hold themselves back. There are people who are not allowing this situation to hold themselves back from living their best next life. I want you to be like those people. There are people who are letting go of friendships that no longer serve them. There are people who are letting go of relationships that are no longer serving them. There are people who are letting go of books that are no longer putting in the nurturing them. They are letting go of books and time that is being wasted on things that are not powering on their purpose. There are people who are not just killing their time by binge watching a series, one after the other, after the other, after the other. Time is a very important, it's a very important commodity in this world. Other people are treating time as a byproduct, but other people are treating time as an investment, right? Because all of us have so much time in our hands right now. And while I do know that there are other people who are literally on survival mode, to you who I'm speaking with, the fact that you're able to access the internet, I do know that you have time. I do know that you're not thinking necessarily survival, but you're thinking about thriving beyond this. I want you to be one of those people. Some of the best minds, the very smartest people in this world, they're not using this time just to sleep, for example. They're not using this time just to let go and do whatever, to just take each day as it comes. They're using this time to invest in living their best next life. They're using this time to innovate the best next innovation. They're using this time to take lessons, to learn, so that they can be known for an amazing purpose, living an amazing purpose in this life, and building an amazing legacy. Are you one of those people? Are you going to be one of those people? I hope so. So today I wanted to challenge you to look at your purpose as, number one, look back into your life. What is the consistent thing you've been struggling with almost all your life? Almost all your life. The number one thing that's truly, like, you've literally been struggling with. Number two, think about the one thing there's a reason why I'm using the one thing, I'll tell you later. The one thing that's always brought you so much joy, so much energy, that even though you did not have money, you would still do it. You remember the story I shared with you? 3 whole years not being unemployed, and I still showed up to encourage people. That is my purpose. Right? I'm an encourager. And if there's one thing I want to be known by, it's encouraging. The reason why I'm a storytelling coach is because as a coach, I'm encouraging people through storytelling. That's a means. But I want to be known as an encourager. That's the one thing that I want to be known by. That is my purpose. And I could not have sat down and figured it out if I did not realize, oh my goodness, I consistently did this thing even without being paid. I consistently did it even when other things in my life were not working out. I consistently did it even when I didn't have cash. That is your purpose. The thing that will drive you to wake up in the morning and still do it. And what better time to explore it than right now? Because work has been disrupted, lifestyles have been disrupted. But what is this one thing which even if you were to serve and do during this season, you would still do? That, my friend, is your purpose, right? And then there is also the thing which people have consistently told you you've gifted them with. Purpose is a gift. Notice the one thing people have consistency, number one, just notice that. Consistently told you you're really, really good at and that you have gifted them with. So it's not a matter of, oh, you're good at riding a bike. But how have you gifted people with this thing? You know, for me, when I notice this indeed is truly my purpose, is when friends and even strangers started telling me that I have a way of helping them see themselves. Truly and deeply see themselves. And I was like, wow, that's truly profound. And I wouldn't have noticed that if the people around me did not act like mirrors to reflect to me what I was already putting out. There's something called an unconscious competency. A conscious competency, for example, is like a skill that you do know that you put into work. Just know that, for example, your conscious competency is your job. There's a big difference between job and work. Your job is the skill that you get paid for every day. Your work is your calling. Your work is the reason why you exist here today. Your work is the thing that you're doing to power on your purpose, to exhaust it completely. So your work is also your calling. I know many people sometimes use work and calling. Your work is not a journalist. That is not a journalist. But your purpose and your job is not, your job is a journalist, but your work could be a storyteller or an informer or an advocate. People are journalists for different reasons. So you need to really find out what exactly is your work. And with the conscious competency, that sometimes is your job because you're so aware of it. Oh, I can write, I can tell stories, I can broadcast, I can use technology, I can do all of this stuff. But your work is more internal. Your work is the gift that you're offering to the world. Your work is your service to the world. How are you serving to the world? For me, it's through encouragement. And why encouragement? And how does this happen? It's through helping people to create beautiful things out of ashes, to repurpose things for good. That's how I encourage. That's why I get excited when I hear people talking about problems, because literally how my mind works is that anytime I hear a problem, I also hear a solution. So that's how my purpose has prepared me for the particular work that I do as a coach, right? And your job can actually be, your work can actually be your job. So your job, think about this. If you for example work as a journalist, your job as a journalist is preparing you for your work. This is time that you're investing. It's a resource that you're investing time, you're investing a skill, and you're investing resources to power on your work. So think of this way. Your job has it has a limit. Retirement, right? What are you going to be doing after retirement? What are you going to be doing after retirement? You're going to be doing your work. You're not going to be doing your job. And so think of this. If you're employed, think of it this way. The job that you're doing right now is preparing you to do your work. Use the resources that you have right now under employment to prepare you for your next best life, which is your work. That's why many people are afraid of getting into entrepreneurship. Yes, it's not for everyone, but entrepreneurship forces you to get into your work immediately. You know? And that's why when they take those high risks, when entrepreneurs take those high risks, is because you're taking the high risks to create the resources at a go, to really put in the work that you need to do to actually power on your purpose and to do the work for which you are actually born to do, right? Somebody like Bill Gates, he disrupted the world with his work, which is using technology for intelligence. He's all about intelligence. Intelligence, when you just think about that guy, you think of intelligence. That's the brand he's created around himself, right? So you just need to think about that. Think about your work. And if you have a job right now, if you're in employment, rethink your work as an opportunity, as an investment. Think of it as an investment in the work that you're going to do in retirement. Think of it as investment of time, investment of resources, investment of networks, investment of money, investment of learning. Don't wait for your employer to send you for a training. Invest your time in that training. Invest your money in that training, because you know it's not just about this job. I'm not going to do this job forever. But your work will be exhausted when you leave this earth, right? And the importance of this is because work teaches you to be an influencer. When you're leading through influence, you realize you're functioning in your purpose. Influence is basically taking dominion over a space. Each one of us, yes, there is enough for each one of us. Don't fall into the lie and the trap of capitalism. Each one of us has specifically been born to take dominion over a certain space. Can you imagine how amazing that is? Each one of us is a powerhouse. You are a powerhouse. You have been born to take dominion over a specific space. You will only know what that specific space when you discover what your purpose is, when you invest in it, and when you discover what exactly do you bring to the world. What are you bringing to the table? What is your work? And guess what? When you leave this earth, that's what people will know you by. Don't confuse. The unfortunate thing in this world is that people are confusing influence. People are confusing influence with fame or popularity. Fame is just many people know you. Popularity is many people like you. But remember, it's temporary. But people of influence, you don't necessarily need to like them. But guess what? When they leave this earth, you remember them. Right? And you will remember them for what? For their work. You will remember them for their purpose. So when I'm talking about purpose, think about the coconut tree. It's something that outlasts you. The seed no longer exists, right? Because the coconut tree has come up, it's taken up a whole new form. And from that coconut tree, it brings more coconuts. The coconut tree will die and it will perish. But guess what? There's something it started that produced more coconut trees. It outlasts. So that's why I'm talking about legacy for you ladies. Let's start thinking about a legacy. Start thinking of your life as the tree, not just the seed. Inside the seed, it's living in duality, and so are you. You both carry your now and you carry your future with you. And if you do not plan for that future by becoming so deeply in love with your life, if you don't fall so deeply in love with your life enough to discover your purpose, enough to give yourself room to discover what your purpose is, then you're doing yourself a disservice, my dear. Fall so in love with your life that you discover your purpose. That every single beautiful day you wake up to work. You wake up to purpose. You wake up to gift your earth with your unique gifting. You wake up every single day to influence us with your amazing gift. To take dominion over the specific space you've been called to take over. And to serve us with your gift. Because guess what? You're not benefiting me. You're not doing me any service by not living in your purpose. You're not doing your family or your community or the world any service by not living in your purpose. I honestly think that the most dangerous people walking on this earth are people who are walking without a purpose. Because the people who are walking without a purpose, it's so easy to manipulate them. It's so easy to do wrong. Because you do not realize about how fragile life is, how short it is, And how every single person, just the way you have a birthday, there's also a day of your your exhaustion of your purpose. And the thing is, the beautiful thing about purpose is that there is room to learn. And when you're walking in your purpose and you make a mistake along the way, guess what? That mistake will be reused. It will be repurposed for good. So think of it again like the coconut tree. So the coconut has it's fallen on the ground, it's been planted into the ground, and it's now growing, right? Think of it as the husk. The husk can still be used for something. The shell can still be used for something, right? All of these things can be used for something. But guess what? All of that will not be possible if you do not give yourself space, if you do not give yourself time to fail, to learn from it. But all throughout, you have been pursuing your purpose. So I do know that it's quite a lot to take in, but guess what? You can watch this video over and over and over again until it makes sense. There's a lady by the name Lisa Nichols. She said that the reason why she ended up being an amazing transformative coach, which are very few in this world, is because she attended a workshop, I think more than 40 times, until she understood every single word that was being said, and until she even started being called to now start presenting those workshops. Is because she was so committed to being in the space with people who are thinking like her, with people who are speaking to her purpose, with people who are so fluent in the kind of work that she wanted to do, which is to encourage and help people transform their lives, right? So I want to encourage you to, number one, this week, start thinking about those consistent patterns you've been seeing in your lives, right? Number two, I want you to invest in creating a new ecosystem for yourself. Yes, even within your own home, an ecosystem that speaks to your purpose, an ecosystem that speaks to your life, and this new person that you would like to build a life for, the future that demands a new way of thinking. Let go of the friends that are no longer serving your purpose. Let go of wasting your time on, let's say, books or media or binge watching on things that are not speaking to your life. I do not mean don't rest. I do not mean don't watch Netflix, for example. But you can do it in a creative way in which it speaks life. For example, myself, I love watching documentaries. Recently, I watched an amazing Netflix series called, I think it's called Hotels to the Rescue, Destination Hotels to the Rescue. And the reason why I loved watching it, it's because these experts were teaching all of these restaurants to the rescue, or something like restoring restaurants. So the reason why I loved watching it is because these people who are vision bearers of restaurants in different parts of the world, they were struggling. And so these amazing experts were visiting their businesses and teaching them how to rethink their businesses, how to reposition, how to rebrand, how to tell their stories. So you see, it's entertainment, but at the same time, it is strategically positioning me to rethink my brand, to rethink my work here on earth, to rethink how I can serve people with my gifts, right? So that is a tip that I'd like to share with you. That is a strategy. You need to create an environment that actually pushes you towards your purpose. You need to inform your family members, the people that you live with, that you are investing in yourself, that there are certain conversations you're not going to participate in, that there are certain programs you're not going to watch, there are certain kind of attitudes you're not going to entertain, because you need your dream to stay alive. You need your gift to be empowered during this time. You do not want to waste time, right? Time and tide waits for no man. Use this particular opportunity as an investment in your purpose, my dear, right? Become so protective of your purpose that you recreate a new ecosystem, a new strategy that allows you, and a new, what do people call it? A new routine that then allows you to wake up, dress up, and show up for your purpose. And give yourself time to keep reflecting, to daydream, and to really think, what is my purpose? And then make it come to life, right? So just think of the coconut tree. Think of the coconut tree, not the seed. The seed is within you, but think of the coconut tree. The coconut tree is the future. The seed is where you are now. So what are you going to invest to help that seed germinate and become a coconut tree? Right? So remember, the turn of a new season provides an opportunity to recommit to what you value. What do you value? And how can you use this season to recommit to truly what you value? Because when you truly leverage this time and you repurpose it to focus and to discover your purpose, guess what? There's a way that this life truly honors and favors people who stay authentic to truly who they are. So I'd like to challenge you to think of that. What is the one thing you want to be known for? That is your purpose. And how can you literally leverage this time during this what is it called, as you stay at home? How can you repurpose this particular season? How can you create a routine that helps you discover your purpose and to water it, to help it germinate, to grow it, so that that tree within you, that legacy within you, you start growing it right now and on purpose, right? So that's all for today. I hope that you are being challenged to rethink purpose. You know, sometimes people think it's this whole huge thing that's a mystery. No, it's within you. Your purpose is within you. It's not a huge mystery. It's within you. Your future exists within you. All you need to do is be intentional. You need to be consistent, and you need to prioritize yourself. You need to prioritize your purpose. Everything else is taken. Prioritize your life, right? So that's it for today. I hope that you feel empowered. I hope that you feel challenged to rethink your life. And I hope that you find this to be very instrumental, right? Please comment below what truly resonates the most about this session. What are you rethinking? What has come out strongly through this session, right? And I can't wait. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me, booking at letsfindyourstory.com on the description box. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you have. And remember, it's a live chat. So even during the live chat, you can actually ask me any questions and I'll respond to you, right? And I look forward to growing with you, my dear sisters, with purpose. That's all for this week on the Let's Stay Home with Ayuma Michelle campaign. Follow that on social media, the hashtag. Remember to like, to comment below with what resonates, and to subscribe for more of these amazing sessions that are going to come up. This is part 2, and I cannot wait to share with you more next week. I'll see you in the next video. Again, this is Let's with Ayuma, the YouTube channel where I'm empowering progressive women just like ourselves from all around the world to thrive with purpose. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.